The door to inner peace. Beloved ones, the journey toward unshakable inner peace begins with a very simple revelation. You have been looking for peace everywhere except in the one place where it has always been hiding. You look for it in people, in relationships, in accomplishments, in money, in spiritual rituals, in temples, in scriptures. And because of this constant outward search, peace remains distant, like a horizon that keeps moving as you walk toward it. The first thing to understand is this: peace is not a thing to be found, it is a presence to be uncovered. And the one who uncovers it is already within you. I remember when I was a small child, I would run from one place to another searching for something, not knowing what it was. It was a restlessness inside me, a longing. I would climb trees, sit alone by the river, watch the sky for hours. I did not yet know it, but I was searching for myself. One evening, as the sun was melting into the horizon, I felt a strange stillness, no thought, no movement inside. It was as if the whole existence had stopped breathing for a moment. In that stillness, something opened. It was a tiny crack, but enough for a new light to enter. I realized the peace I had chased outside was blooming from within me. It was not coming from the sunset, not from the silence around, not even from nature. It was coming from the depth of my own being. That day I understood the door to peace is always inside, but the door is subtle, almost invisible, because your eyes are trained to look outward. The world has conditioned you to chase, to compare, to compete. And in this constant running, you forget your own center. Inner peace is like a fragrance hiding in a flower. If the flower goes on searching for fragrance somewhere else, it will remain poor, empty, lost. But the moment it turns inward, it discovers it was always divine, always complete. Your mind will try to distract you. It will say, find peace in achievements, find peace in relationships, find peace in possessions, find peace in being admired. But peace that depends on anything outside you is fragile. It breaks with the smallest disturbance. Real peace is independent of the world. It is like the flame of a candle that continues to burn even when the room is full of chaos, because the flame belongs to its own source. When you begin the journey inward, you will feel a new softness, a new warmth, a new intimacy with yourself. You will begin to taste a silence that is not empty but overflowing with life. And as this silence grows, you will walk through the world untouched by its noise. Slowly, you will realize that inner peace is not something you achieve, it is something you remember. You have known it before. It is your original nature. All you need to do is stop, breathe, look inside. There, behind your thoughts, behind your emotions, behind your personality, the door is waiting. You have the key. You always had it. Now is the moment to use it, understanding the restlessness within. Beloved ones, before you can enter the garden of peace, you must first understand the jungle of restlessness that surrounds you from within. The mind is not your enemy, but it behaves like one because you have never learned how to live with it. It is like a child running wildly through the house, throwing things, making noise, and you go on, shouting at it, fighting with it, trying to control it. But the more you fight with the mind, the more restless it becomes. The mind's restlessness is not a problem, it is simply its nature. The real problem begins when you start believing that this restless movement is you. This confusion has been humanity's deepest suffering. You say, I am disturbed, I am anxious, I am worried. But you are not. These are only waves on the surface. You are the ocean that remains silent beneath all waves, beneath all storms. When I was young, I watched my own mind with great curiosity. It would jump from one thought to another, like a monkey leaping from branch to branch. A single moment of silence was almost impossible. I would try to concentrate, and within seconds the mind would rush toward something else. I tried to stop it, fight with it, scold it, discipline it, but the more effort I made, the more rebellious it became. Finally, one day I stopped the fight completely. I simply sat and watched. I let the mind do whatever it wanted, and something magical happened. For the first time, I saw the mind as separate from me. The thoughts were moving like clouds, but I was the open sky. I was not touched, not influenced, not shaken. I realized the secret. The mind's restlessness becomes powerful only when you are identified with it. The moment you step back and watch, a distance arises, and in that distance lies a tremendous freedom. You cannot calm the mind through force. Force only creates more disturbance. It is like trying to smooth the surface of water with a stick. The more you try, the more ripples you create. If you simply wait and watch, the water settles on its own. Awareness is the hidden key. When you bring awareness to your mind, its restlessness begins to dissolve naturally, like mist disappearing in the morning sun. Try to observe your mind throughout the day. Notice how one thought leads to another, how desires arise, how fears echo, how memories pull you into the past, and imagination pulls you into the future. The mind lives everywhere except the present moment. And because it cannot be here, it cannot be peaceful. Peace exists only now. The mind runs because running is all it knows. It is a machine programmed for movement. But you are not this machine. You are the one who sees it functioning. As this understanding deepens, you will discover something unexpected. The mind is not trying to trouble you. It is simply full of accumulated impressions, experiences, memories, desires that it has gathered over lifetimes. It is overloaded. It needs compassion, not suppression. It needs your observation, not your anger. Slowly, as awareness grows like a flame within you, the mind begins to slow down. Thoughts lose their grip. Desires lose their urgency. Fears lose their poison. A small space opens between you and the mind. In that space, restlessness cannot survive. In that space, the fragrance of peace begins to spread. This is the beginning of real transformation. When you understand the mind without condemning it, you begin to rise above it. You begin to taste the freedom that has always been your birthright. The art of watching. Beloved ones, the greatest discovery I ever made was this simple truth. Watching is transformation. Not doing, not controlling, not manipulating, but simply watching. You have been trained to do things, to fix things, to correct things. But existence reveals its secrets only to those who are willing to be silent observers. Watchfulness is not a technique. It is a fragrance. It is a way of being. When you sit silently and just watch your breath coming in and going out, you are not doing meditation, you are becoming meditation. Thoughts may come, emotions may stir, old memories may rise like dust, but you remain the watcher. You do not fight. You do not follow. You simply observe. When I began this art of watching, I was amazed. My whole life I had believed that thoughts were powerful, that they controlled me, shaped me, dominated me. But the moment I watched them without getting involved, a miracle happened. The thoughts lost their authority. They became like shadows, weightless, passing, harmless. It was as if they no longer belonged to me. I realized they had never belonged to me. They were visitors, not owners. And I was the host, the witness. The secret of watching is this: the watcher is always silent, and silence is always peaceful. Thoughts are noisy, the mind is noisy, but the watcher remains untouched. Imagine sitting on a hilltop and watching the traffic on the road below. Cars come and go, people rush, horns sound, the world moves fast. But you, sitting on the hill, remain in your own stillness. The noise does not disturb your silence transforms the noise. This is what happens inside you as watching deepens. At first, you will feel the mind is too loud, too chaotic. You may think watching is impossible, but it is only impossible because you try to succeed. Watching is not about success, it is about presence. Even if you watch for a single second, that second company contains eternity. Slowly those seconds join together, forming minutes, then hours, then a new awareness that begins to accompany you like a gentle friend. When you watch without judgment, something inside relaxes. For the first time, you are not trying to change yourself. You are simply seeing yourself. And seeing is transformation. A person who truly sees anger cannot remain angry. A person who fully observes his desire is no longer enslaved by it. Observation burns the seeds of unconsciousness. Let me tell you a small secret. Every time you watch your thoughts, a small distance is created. Even a millimeter of distance is enough to change your life. In that distance, you are no longer the mind. You become the sky, and thoughts are just clouds floating by. Some clouds are dark, some bright, some heavy with rain, some soft and white, but no cloud can injure the sky. The sky remains pure, open, untouched. In the same way, your inner sky remains pure. Watching reveals this purity. Once this art becomes natural, you will carry it everywhere. While walking, you will watch. While eating, you will watch. While speaking, while listening, even while dreaming, a small flame of awareness will continue to burn within you. And when awareness becomes continuous, restlessness dissolves and peace blossoms. This is the power of watching. It does not change the world. It changes the one who is experiencing the world. And when you change, everything changes. Returning to your center, beloved ones, life is a constant movement, a river flowing through days and nights, through joys and sorrows, through the known and the unknown. And in this continuous flow, you often lose yourself. You become so absorbed in the waves that you forget the ocean beneath. You become so identified with the outer journey that you forget the traveler within. The world keeps pulling you in 1,000 directions, and slowly, gradually, you drift away from your own center. Yet the miracle is this: no matter how far you drift, your center never leaves you. It waits patiently, like a silent temple within your being. I discovered my own center only when I became tired of wandering outward. There came a moment when I realized that no matter how many achievements I gathered, no matter how many victories life offered, something essential remained missing. That missing element was my own presence. One evening, sitting alone under a tree, I simply allowed myself to be. No goal, no intention, no activity, just being. And in that effortless state, a new sensation arose, a pulling inward, as if existence were whispering, "Come home." The more I relaxed, the deeper I fell into myself. It was like diving into a lake and finally touching the cool, untouched depths beneath the surface waves. That was my first true encounter with the center. Your center is not a place, it is a state. It is the core of your consciousness, the part of you that remains untouched by the world. When someone insults you, it is not your center that is hurt. When someone praises you, it is not your center that becomes proud. Only the surface reacts. The center remains silent, unmoved. It is this silence that you must return to again and again. The world will always try to shake you. Situations will arise that challenge your patience, your clarity, your trust. People may misunderstand you. Love may disappoint you. Fate may freeze you. But if you know the art of returning to your center, nothing can disturb your inner harmony. You may bend like a tree in the wind, but you will never break. You will remain rooted. How do you return to your center? By remembering yourself. When you are angry, watch the anger. The watcher is the center. When you are afraid, watch the fear. The watcher is the center. When you feel lost, confused, overwhelmed, simply pause and breathe. In the gap between two breaths, your center becomes visible again. Slowly, gently, it reveals itself. As you become familiar with this inner space, a transformation begins. A calmness enters you. A clarity arises. You start seeing life from the inside out, not from the outside in. You begin to respond, not react. Your actions become graceful. Your words become soft. Your presence becomes a blessing. Returning to your center is not a one-time event. It is a daily nourishment. Just as you eat every day to feed your body, you return to your center every day to feed your being. And the more you return, the more natural it becomes. One day, you will discover that you are living from your center continuously. You will walk, speak, work, love from that space. In that moment, unshakable inner peace becomes your natural state. Acceptance as a sacred key. Beloved ones, acceptance is one of the most beautiful yet most misunderstood qualities of the inner journey. When I speak of acceptance, people often think I am telling them to surrender to circumstances, to tolerate injustice, to remain passive. That is not acceptance. True acceptance is an inner flowering, a deep understanding, a silent agreement with life as it is. It is not weakness, it is wisdom. The mind is always in conflict with reality. Something is always wrong. Something should be different. Something must be changed. This constant resistance creates tension. It is like fighting with your own shadow. The more you resist life, the heavier your heart becomes. The more you accept, the lighter your being feels. When you stop trying to reshape the river, you begin to flow with it. This flowing is acceptance. I learned the beauty of acceptance not through books or teachings, but through my own experiences. There came a point in my life when I realized I had been fighting with myself. I wanted to be better, wiser, more disciplined, more perfect. I carried an ideal image of how I should be, and this image constantly made me feel incomplete, unworthy, imperfect. One day, in a moment of deep exhaustion, I stopped. I simply allowed myself to be exactly as I was. Not better, not worse, just me. That single moment opened a door I had never seen before. When you accept yourself totally, a tremendous relaxation happens. The inner war ends. You stop dividing yourself into the one you are and the one you should be. In the silence that follows, peace arises naturally, effortlessly. Acceptance is not about improving yourself. It is about seeing yourself clearly, lovingly, without judgment. And through this clarity, transformation happens on its own. Acceptance is a sacred key because it unlocks the tight fist of the ego. The ego survives on resistance. It wants control, dominance, perfection. Acceptance melts the ego, softens your inner world, and brings you closer to your authentic self. When you accept your anger, you can watch it. When you accept your fear, you can understand it. When you accept your sadness, it becomes a doorway to depth. Whatever you accept becomes a teacher. Whatever you reject becomes a chain. Life will not always be the way you want it to be. People will not always act according to your expectations. Events will not unfold according to your plans. If you can accept life moment to moment, even in its unpredictability, you will find a serenity that no external situation can touch. Acceptance does not change the world, it changes you. And when you change, the world appears different. This acceptance is not passive resignation. It does not mean you stop acting. It means you act without inner conflict. You act out of understanding, not frustration. You act out of clarity, not confusion. Acceptance brings a grace to your movements, a gentleness to your words, and a deep kindness to your relationship with life. Once this sacred key becomes part of your being, you will never again feel lost. You will move through life as if guided by an invisible hand, resting in a peace that does not depend on circumstances. Through acceptance, unshakable inner peace becomes not a distant dream, but your lived reality, living peacefully in the world. Beloved ones, the world will never become silent for your sake. The world has its own rhythm, its own chaos, its own unpredictable dance. People will continue to live in their dreams, their fears, their ambitions. Situations will rise and fall. Seasons will change. Governments will change. Relationships will change. But there is something within you that does not change. Something eternal, something untouched by the winds of life. Once you discover this inner space, you can walk through the marketplace with the same peace you feel in a temple. This is the essence of living peacefully in the world. You do not escape life, you transform your relationship with it. A lotus does not try to run away from the muddy water. It grows in the water, rises above it, and remains untouched by it. In the same way, you too can learn the art of remaining in the world while living from your inner center. When I say live peacefully, I do not mean live quietly or live passively. Living peacefully means living with awareness, living with acceptance, living from your deepest center. It means your actions arise out of clarity, not confusion. Your words arise out of love, not fear. Your choices arise from consciousness, not conditioning. When your inner world is balanced, the outer world cannot disturb it. There was a time when I thought peace could be found only in mountains, in forests, in monasteries. And yes, those places offer a beautiful silence. But the world is not your enemy, it is your teacher. Noise can teach you how to find inner silence. Conflict can teach you how to remain centered. Challenges can teach you your own strength. The world gives you the perfect environment to grow. It is through living in the world that your peace becomes unshakable. If peace disappears when someone criticizes you, then what you had was not peace, but comfort. If peace disappears when a plan fails, then what you had was not peace, but expectation. Real peace remains even when everything around you shifts. It is like a lamp that continues to glow even when the room is full of darkness. It is like a mountain that remains standing even when storms rage around it, to live peaceful. Li in the world is to walk with a silent flame inside you. This flame is your awareness, your acceptance, your connection to your inner center. Protect this flame, nourish it, return to it again and again. Eventually, it will become so strong that no wind can extinguish it. You will become a presence of calmness wherever you go. People may not understand why, but they will feel something different in you. A softness, a grounding, a quiet joy. As your inner peace deepens, your life becomes a blessing. Your very presence becomes a meditation. You do not need to preach, you simply live in such a way that others feel inspired to find their own center. A person who is truly peaceful becomes a living invitation for others to awaken. And ultimately, beloved ones, this is what unshakable inner peace means, not withdrawing from the world, but living in it so fully, so consciously, so lovingly, that nothing can disturb your inner sky. You remain the watcher, the center, the silent witness. The world moves around you, but you remain grounded in your own being.